Hey, welcome back to Talking Tips Tuesday. I'm Bob, your host, and today we have an awesome guest. This is Josh with North Park Tax, and North Park Tax is a tax and accounting firm in Loves Park, Illinois. We've had this theme of different things that you as a small business owner can do to prepare your business for 2023. One of those things that we always start to worry about at this time of year is our tax liabilities and just how do we prepare the business for tax season. And I thought, who else better to bring in than a guy that knows about taxes? I mean, I'm a marketing guy. We can create all kinds of chaos for you, but he'll help keep everything straight. So, Josh, why don't when I reached out to you, I said, hey, why don't you come on and we'll talk about some different tips for the small business community. I see you've got some cool notes there, way better than what I've got. My notes are nothing. Um, Tell us a little bit about some 3 to 5 things that actionable things that small businesses can do to prepare for the new year for 2023.
I would start first off by actually getting help. You, like as a business owner, you concentrate on marketing and sales. You don't want to concentrate on book work or taxes or anything like that. So the
This is
biggest
so
thing
true.
is to get help where you're not strong in. Hire a company like me so that we can go in and we can, okay, this is where the books are currently. Let's get them to where they need to be. Or, hey, these are great. Let's add to this or go from there.
Right.
The biggest thing going into 2023 is know where you're at now so you can only go up from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a critical point that is not only important in the from a tax perspective, but in business in general. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know how to
Yeah.
adjust. Business, as much as it is emotional, it's all based on numbers. Taxes and sales are certainly uh, keenly linked in that aspect.
Yep. And let's face it, we're all trying to lower our tax liability, lower our AGI, so we don't have to pay as much in
AGI.
taxes, adjusted
He
gross
just used
income.
yes, adjusted gross. All right. I'm learning here today too. This is awesome. All right,
So
AGI.
we all want to lower that because that's what we're going to be paying our taxes on.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
if we lower that number legally and ethically, then we can
You
pay
guys
less.
specialize in that legal and ethical
Yes,
part. Yeah.
we all have the laws, and as long as we're inside, that's what matters.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of different philosophies, different strategies you can use depending on what type of business you are. If you're a sole proprietor, S corp, whatever
LLC.
LLC, partnership, it all just depends, and there's different strategies for each. I mean, we could be here for 3 months going over just one strategy.
Yeah.
Or one company for all the different strategies. So each company is different. That's why you want to reach out, get help, find somebody you trust, and dive in.
Sure. Sure. So when somebody decides that they're going to get help, now this sounds like we're in therapy, doesn't it? So when we decide to go ahead and get help, uh, what is something that makes it easy for you as that tax specialist or the accountant to help prepare or to best help that small business owner? What is something they need to make sure that they have ready when they come to see you or call them, schedule that appointment?
And the list grows. No.
Yeah.
So basically, a lot of the stuff that we have that we'll need, obviously, your bank statements, your credit card statements, your receipts. And obviously, we don't want them in a big old box. We bring them in a shoe box.
Now he tells us.
I've had that, but it's no fun. I mean, obviously, if it's all on a spreadsheet or it's in your computer, it's uploaded by pictures or however you've been keeping track of it, great, because then we can divide it into each month. We have your bank statement for that month, which we have to reconcile. Then we have your receipts and everything else to back it up.
Yeah. So if somebody, a really common platform out there is QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's operating on QuickBooks, is that something that you can work with?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you see a lot of businesses that come in that have the proverbial shoebox of receipts nowadays, or have most people
Not
gone to a platform?
most people have either gone to a platform or at minimum a spreadsheet, an
Okay.
Excel spreadsheet for every month.
Sure.
which happens quite a bit because they don't know what they're doing on QuickBooks, so they don't want to spend the money to purchase the platform.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use it. I'm not going to do it. So they at least have a spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's so funny because we see that in marketing, right? As we're helping clients better establish their marketing, whether it's something simple as like a Google Business Profile setup,
Hmm.
or helping them to set up like an email campaign or something like that. It's very simple things, but it's intimidating. And
It's simple to you because you know what you're doing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we talked
I
about
don't
this.
know how to do it.
Yeah, we talked about this a while back. Um, attorneys. Sometimes you're in a lawsuit or you're involved with an attorney, and the attorney's like, it's no big deal, and it's because they deal with it all the time. And I guess
Hmm.
we're probably the same way.
Yep.
I see marketing stuff all the time. And it's no big deal. You can
Yep.
just here's how we can make this happen.
But I'm lost.
Yeah, yeah, and then you're from the accounting perspective.
Yep.
People are like, oh my gosh, what's going
Yep.
on? And you're like, I got this.
I got this. Give me an hour. I'm good.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep. So seeking wise counsel, having your stuff somewhat organized. What's a third tip that'd be beneficial to small business owners?
Making sure you're in the right domain, meaning you're either an S corp, you're an LLC. Each one has its pros and cons, and if you're obviously you have to weigh them. But if you're a sole proprietor and you're making over $1 million a year, you're in the wrong. You need to incorporate.
Interesting.
Because you can save a lot of money by incorporating versus it all going through you personally.
Interesting.
So I mean,
that
there's
sounds like a whole nother episode here.
It is
of choosing the right corporate structure.
God, you can go days just because there's pros and cons to different things and different strategies and different everything. But you want to make sure you want to sit down with somebody and make sure you're good. You're not overpaying in your taxes. Because let's face it, I don't want to overpay. You don't want to overpay, but we have to pay. So
yeah, this is so true. That's so true. What is like one actionable thing, whether they call you up and become a client or not? What's one actionable thing that you could share with the audience that they could take and do that would make their tax season a little bit better next year?
Organization. One word, organization. No one's going to remember a transaction for a gas receipt from 3 weeks ago.
Wait, we're supposed to get gas receipts?
It's in your bank statement. You're good. I got you.
Awesome. Good to know.
But no one's going to remember, that was for, and if they have multiple vehicles, what vehicle it was for or whatever to document that.
Yeah.
Always have notes. I mean, a lot of platforms now, you just take a picture and you can write a note with it or type a note, whatever you want to do. And that helps tremendously because if we ever have a question about that transaction, you're not going to remember. I have no idea. I'm just looking at the hard numbers. So we go back to the notes and the organization of, it's all here. We're golden.
Yeah. So even if you're unorganized now,
mm-hmm.
We're all setting New Year's resolutions going in, going into 2023, right?
Yep.
Some of us are setting, weight loss resolutions. Some of us are setting, how do we grow our business or whatever. But that organization is one that's really common in all aspects. So
yes, it is.
Setting up a system that you can consistently organize your business's information is important. Same thing with marketing too. That's an important piece to kind of develop a strategy, develop a plan of how you're going to market your business, whether it's through digital resources or maybe you're doing a promo campaign. You're just updating your branded apparel. All of that should really become part of a strategy, part of an organizational piece here before we even get to 2023. So that's a great tip, Josh. So anything else you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap this up?
No, I mean, your biggest thing is to be organized and to get help. Your definition of organized is probably different than mine.
Oh boy.
However, you have to find something that fits you.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it if I come to you and say, okay, Bob, you have to do 1, 2, 3, and ABC right now this way, it's not going to work for you. You might do it for a week and then say, I like Josh, but no.
Right.
So sit down with the person you trust, to sit down with the person that's going to help you and be like, look, I can do it this way. Are you going to be able to take this information from here and apply it how it needs to be applied?
Yeah.
And as long as that's able to be done, that's fine. Because very rarely do I have more than one client that does a certain thing a certain way.
Yeah.
I get information all different ways, text, email, all that stuff. But it's convenient for them and it works and it keeps them organized.
That's a really great tip. That goes way back to one of the first episodes that we did here with Talking Tips Tuesday, and that was talking about consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I think any system is good
Yep.
if you can be consistent with
Yes.
it.
Yep.
So that's a great tip. Well, everybody, hope you're getting some great information out of these Talking Tips Tuesdays. Hope you're as excited as we are for the coming new year. It's now is an opportunity to prepare and really set yourself, put yourself in a position to expand and grow your business in 2023. So look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. We're going to be talking more about how to prepare for 2023 on that episode as well. So you want to stay tuned for that. Josh, thanks for coming in and sharing some great information with the audience. So
Thanks for having me.